Okay, good morning everybody. So we've been talking about this deck for a while on stream, right? We've been talking about this deck for a while. This is uh you know, Jund with Traverse. So for a long time I was talking about adding Traverse to Jund Saga and adding some of the channel lands as extra Traverse targets. And I thought that that was going to be kind of interesting. But when I was building that list, I found two main things. One, when you add Traverse to like the stock Jund Saga list, it's actually like really tough to add Traverse and still have like a density and like have like any interesting tutor targets beyond just like your regular creatures, Saga, and lands, which is maybe fine, but it's not super exciting. I also felt that the mana was horrible if you play Saga, where you're playing colored spells of all three colors. You're playing 4 colorless lands, and you're playing these. You play like 2 untapped green sources, 2 untapped red sources. It was just like really rough. So I kind of decided, what if we just end up cutting the sagas, which lets us play less lands. And I also decided to go with no Lurrus Companion. This way we can set up some powerful 3 mana spells to traverse for, which I also think makes a lot of sense. When like I think that like one nice thing about playing Saga in Jund Saga is like you get an extra mana sink in your Lurrus deck, which is always really nice. But in this deck, when you have like 4 Traverse, 4 Spiral, you've got a ton of card advantage. So I don't think you need it as much. And your Wrenn and Sixes are also like still really good in this deck because you've got your Forgotten Cave to tutor 4 to cycle, your 2 channel lands to tutor up and cycle. So I feel like this card is going to be an engine pretty often. So I'm pretty excited about the list. We also have some, tutor targets in the sideboard, like Tin Street Hooligan, Charmaw, Force of Vigor, for sideboard games. This sideboard is definitely heavily skewed for, sorry, not Force of Vigor, Magus the Moon is the target. Force is also the sideboard, but Magus is the tutor target. But yeah, this sideboard is definitely heavily skewed for Titan, which I feel is pretty overrepresented on Magic Online at the moment. Definitely hedging for that matchup. Sheila, thank you for the 2 months. Appreciate you. Alright, had some mana troubles this morning. I think we'll keep this on the draw though. We do, just gotta find a freaking fetch land. I will say that like I would probably just play Lurrus over like if you're gonna cut the food package, I would get Lurrus as a companion and not play Mayhem Double too. Alright, easy fetch land actually. Playing any Affinity today? Yeah, I think so. My plan is to play a little bit of this, and then I think I want to do like just 1 league of updated Boros Stoneblade. We can keep Boseiju, but I might just play it as land. Although I guess I'm not getting to return a land next turn. Maybe I should have shuffled. Yeah, but I wanted to play a league of updated Boros Stoneblade. That list is like 7 cards different, and so I feel like I'm excited to play it. And yeah, I was probably supposed to shuffle that actually. No Team Rec in the near future. Well, I'll play the decks that I want to play. But yeah, like Team Rec doesn't have many upgrades, right? There's a whole new set to be playing with. And I've also like the whole trophy race, and before the trophy race, like there was a dry spell of new cards to play with, of new stuff to do, and I was playing a lot of the same decks, and I'm really excited to get to play with the new cards. That's where my head and my heart are. Goodbye, Wrenn and Six. Why do I want to shuffle it? Because I had 2 Wrenn and Six. I feel like I was going to get a steady stream of lands. I'm also playing against a Lurrus deck where channeling Boseiju is not going to be very good. I was thinking I could just play it as a green source, but I realized I didn't have a fetch land in the yard. That being said, now that my opponent dealt with my 2 Wrens, I don't mind having that extra land anymore. So it didn't end up working out that poorly. Done with Kaito for now. No, I like Kaito a lot. I really have liked the card Kaito. It is like not clear the best way to build it. or build a deck with Kaito. And so my plan is to do testing off stream. And see if I can find like a really good Kaito list, because I feel like my Kaito confidence has been shaken. I feel like chat just doesn't know. Doesn't believe in the Kaito. So when I come back, I want to come back strong with Kaito. I feel like you want Kaito in a Snapcaster deck. Snapcaster is obviously a card to consider. Yeah, there's just a lot of ins and outs to the case. You know, there's a lot of what have yous as well. You can play Jund Lurrus with Boseiju. I started there. I started just like adapting like regular Jund Saga Lurrus with Traverse. But I found like it was just like really tough to fit the Traverses and like have a functional mana base and play Saga. It was just like too much, not enough space. And so we're trying this version instead. I'm really not too enthused with Bone's Hand seems like it sucks. I'm really not too enthused with so if I heat this Shadow right now, they have to fetch Shock and then they're dead to two Channelers hitting them. What was I not enthused by? Something with the Jund list. Okay, they have to have 2 1-mana removal spells, which I don't like. Did they just like not cast a removal spell last turn? Maybe not, I guess. Traverse is kind of interesting. I think we'll graveyard it. Oh, yes, yeah, Saga. Yeah, it's just like a Saga, and then the channel lands being like not that good at mana fixing, and like Traverse like wanting you to play like higher value cards for like more card advantage in the late game. I just wasn't too enthused with the older Jund Saga lists. Oh, they have Dress Down. That's of course, right? Of course. So do I go Lurrus minus or Lurrus plus? They go down to 3. Yeah, I think I maybe just Seasoned Pyromancer actually, just make 2 blockers. But do I even need 2 blockers? I'm dead to Lightning Bolt plus Dress Down. No, not even that. Oh, right, you're right. Sorry. There's a Dress Down in play. Obviously, play the Grist. Yeah. I think stacking one of my lethal attackers is a mistake here. But my opponent's kind of implied to be light on removal too. Is anyone hearing static occasionally? People keep saying that. I think it's an issue with my mic. I combed the VOD a little bit. I never heard any static, but I didn't listen to like the entire 6-hour VOD. It seems to like be only like headphone users. It doesn't seem to be everyone, but it is definitely some you know, you're not alone. I don't know. Yeah, I could try unplugging and replugging. I don't know. TBR GG. Yeah, they don't play TBR. Famous last words. I'm not a headphone user and I hear it. Okay. I'll do some more work on it. Oh, I hope it's not too distracting. It could also. I was playing with some. I bought a Johnny Silverhand costume for Kamigawa, then I couldn't see through the sunglasses, so I have these dog tags on my desk for the. Okay, is this the static? Is this what you guys hear? Is this it? Because I was just kind of like fiddling with it unconsciously. No, okay. I didn't think so. I thought it was gonna be good to check. So they have another Dress Down. Too bad. That would have been the easy fix, huh? So I Thoughtseize them. Dress Down in response. Is there a magnet near my mic? No. Seasoned Pyromancer gets the Dress Down. Yeah, Spiral pre-combat. I think that's probably the line. And then I don't have to suicide attack the channelers. Replace my mic cable. Yeah, that could be it. I don't have a replacement cable for this on hand, but I did never throw away the cup mic. I never threw away the cup mic. The cup mic is still with us. So I can try to set that up real quick. I think I'm just make a token. Then I could just try to ultimate the Grist next turn, maybe. Sounds like phone near mic. My phone's like 2 feet away. It's like, yeah, I don't think it's close enough. Okay, that's not the USB cable. Surely I didn't throw away the USB, or, you know, I thought I still had it out. At the very least, I should have another one around here somewhere. Okay, I'll figure it out. Alright, we won game 1. Now sideboard, and I'll look around for the cable a little bit. Let's bring in, I think, 2 Terminates for 2 Thoughtseize. Could play. When I leaned over, it got more intense, if that helps me debug. I don't know. I don't know. Might play the 3rd Thoughtseize with the Fury, but I don't think I'll submit this. Yeah, I'm not actually sure. It wasn't on the spot I thought it was. I guess I can try. I do have one different cable for the mic. It's the cable that was untouched to the other mic. No, that one's fucked. Master, thank you for the 6 months. Appreciate you. Let's keep this hand. Okay. At the very least, I should have another one around here somewhere. Okay, I'll figure it out. At the very least, I should have another one. Yeah, I hear it too. I don't. Okay. I'll figure. It's got to be some kind of feedback, cause I don't hear it. It's not like present in the room, right? So like I'm not actively hearing it. Get a mountain here. Yeah, it's gonna be the ghost. Maybe I'll try moving the mic like further away from everything, like just kind of on the other side of the table, and turn down the gain a little bit. Sounds like a cable problem. Yeah, I think it probably is too. Yeah, it could be Reality Hit Chip trying to get me to play the card in Modern. Sounds pretty plausible. Okay, so they Shock Steam Vents here. They've got 3 card types in their yard. Any instant, it does allow them to save their Channeler. So, while it is kind of enticing to go for a Wrenn and Six ping on the Channeler, I'm going to Thoughtseize, which is going to give me Delirium, so I can kill their Channeler. Wow, I am shocked that they chose not to play another 1-mana threat here. Shocked, I say. So I think I'm going to take their Channeler here, and then if they don't draw a land and dash Ragavan, I can heat the Ragavan, untap, ping the Channeler, Thoughtseize them. Assuming they don't bolt, which I don't think that they will. It's gone now, can't hear it anymore. Okay, yeah, I just moved the mic to the other side of my desk, further away from the PC. Obviously this is not like a super ideal fix, but I'll move it like a little bit further, and we will continue to evaluate, huh? I think they did it to play around Wrenn. Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah. I should have realized that. Although if I do play Wrenn there, then like they get to kill it on the crackback. It's like not that crazy for them. Thank you for helping me troubleshoot chat. Okay. Now hopefully they just play the Ragavan. Worse for us, I guess, if they play the Wrenn and Six. But I feel like they're less likely to play Wrenn and Six just as a 2/2. Sorry, it's worse for us if they play Shadow. I think they're less likely to play Shadow as a 2/2 though, and they're more likely to cast the Ragavan. But obviously, either line is fine. They do just cast the Ragavan, which is this is exactly the setup we wanted, which is good because we're also flooding out a little bit. So I'm going to bolt my Wrenn and Six, play their Kroxa. I'm going to discard Mire, probably. Okay, well, they let me get back... let me activate the Wrenn and Six for no, like, real discernible reason. Oh, I should have actually... Sorry, I should have... I didn't realize I lost Delirium, but I'm going to get right back here when they bolt their Wrenn. Okay, and then they're going to go for Dress Down into Kroxa, which is not great for me. I'm not going to cast the Heat yet in case I find a Channeler. I get a Surveil. I obviously have a lot of mana, so like the mana efficiency doesn't matter so much. Okay, definitely interested in drawing a Goyf. How good would Kroxa be in the deck? Pretty bad, I think, when you have Boseiju and a basic forest. I don't know. I don't think it would be like completely uncastable, but I think you've got too many lands to just have for green to really want it. I don't know. Like, I do think that some players just have a philosophy that I'm just gonna be a little greedy with my my card choices and my mana base, and it sometimes works out for those players, right? All right, so they don't go for Kroxa or Lurrus. Obviously, they don't have a land for Kroxa. Yeah, I think I just have to pass back here. I think just like when my opponent's choked on mana and I'm super flooded, allowing them to just like easily use their mana on a drown and block on my Goyf is how I lose this game. But if they draw a land and they tap out for Kroxa, I discard the Mire, I play Goyf. Like, this is a way that we could possibly win. Is Tamashii Lotus Bloom a combo competitive enough to brew? Does Tamashii actually work with Lotus Bloom? I remember reading it and thinking it doesn't. Hold on. Return a land you control to its owner's hand. Return artifact and enchantment spell, mana bag, extra graveyard battlefield, act as a sorcery. Okay, it is a combo. It's maybe good. It's pretty fragile, though. And you are limited by the number of lands you have in play. For whatever reason, I thought, like, you cast the spell with, like, its mana value, and, like, for what you couldn't, like, it doesn't work with Lotus Bloom, but it does. I think there's not a huge difference between being at 8 and 9. Alright, old spell. Not a very good spell. I think I ping, so that a ping plus a Tarmogoyf attack threatens lethal next turn. Maybe one Raging Ravine. I mean, we have Forgotten Cave and the 2 channel lands as utility lands here. I would also play Den of the Bugbear over Raging Ravine, because I'm not stuck in the past. Alright, game 3. But yeah, I Alright, let's I'll cut the Fury for like the first Lantern, I guess. Did you put us dead to removal spell? You want to suggest a line that doesn't put us dead to a removal spell? What do you want? What do you want me to do there? I've got a Tarmogoyf and a Wrenn and Six in my hand. Do I what's your line? What the heck? Spike, why didn't you do something else there? I didn't have anything else to do, chat. Hold Wrenn so I could discard it? I guess. Hold Wrenn to discard Wrenn and lose the game to my opponents who got 5 cards in hand. Let's just... You think we're ever beating a removal spell there in a million billion years? Think we're ever beating a removal spell there? What my out is what? Draw a removal spell and then they just escape the Kroxa again? Golly. Alright, let's get the Wrenn and Six down. Yeah, I forgot to reveal Luris again. You get 1 Boseiju and 2 Merc sideboard over 4th Force. It'd be fine, maybe. Here's kind of my issue with it, though. It's like, usually in the games where you would want one of those effects, like Force of Vigor is going to be the more impactful card. But you know, obviously, like, you get a little bit of added value. You get a little bit of added value by being able to recur with Wrenn and Six, which is not nothing. Yeah, maybe I was supposed to not fetch there. Busy ranting. Wrenn and Six plus before Grist. Yeah. I couldn't play around it. Sorry, chat. Busy ranting and yelling at chat. Why not +1 Wrenn and Six to prevent that? Yeah, this is another comment we get a lot. Why, Spike? Why didn't you not make this mistake? You know, it's why not make this obvious mistake? You guys know why not. I'm just making an obvious mistake. It's not really any deeper than that. You're not missing anything. It's just an obvious mistake. You know, that I'm answering this question about the Team of Rex sideboard. You know, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. But yes, that was a big mistake. You did recognize it. Have I seen the Moonlit lands? I don't know what those are. Don't know what those lands are. Yeah, you could play Colossus with the main or the sideboard, maybe. The thing is, like, Colossus is gonna get like exactly like the red-black X mirrors and like Murktide and then Burn, which is probably enough to like play it in the sideboard, but it is, I feel like, a little narrow. Okay, they heat the Wrenn and Six. How do you feel with the Tara? I've liked the card a lot, actually. I don't have like a ton of matches with it, but I've liked it enough to play it, especially with Wrenn and Six. I think of Snapcaster as one of them. Murktide. I don't love it. I have played it a few times. It's definitely fine. Like, I don't think that the Snapcaster and Murktide is in any way an unreasonable card to play. Sorry for rhyming. But yeah, I think it's fine. Okay, so we're definitely gonna try to Lantern their Kroxa. Yeah, good top deck. Keep that on top. And then we're gonna cast the Goyf post combat. Trading Dimir, thinking the Ice Shadow list. I haven't. I kind of feel like those two cards don't play super well together. Like, Shadow wants you to be like more low to the ground, and Thinking the Ice wants to be a lot slower. How many fetches should I play a Wrenn deck? Well, it kind of depends on like how many other cards you have for Wrenn and Six. Like in this deck, we have 9 fetches, 2 channel lands, and a cycle land. So that's 12 cards that are really good with Wrenn and Six, which enables us to play 4 Wrenn. I do think it's also like a matter of like how many Wrenns are you playing, or 3 or 4. Oh, they surveilled another Croxa into the yard. That's pretty bad. So I can attack. Attack, make tokens, or terminate an attack. I think we attack first, where... Obviously, if they have push, we're probably losing this game, but push, like, into Croxa. But but this sets me up to, like, beat a Croxa escape next turn, because I just get to make tokens, and then terminate. I don't think they can shrink the Goyf. I guess I should have double-checked. Yeah, do they have the only sorcery? They do have the only sorcery, actually. Any argument for cutting Pyro and Grist for Croxa so you can play Lurrus? Well, it would be a bit more complicated than that. It's not, you can't play 5 Croxas, but I understand, like, the gist of the question. Aaron, thank you for the 2 months. Appreciate you. I think that could be fine. I will say that, like, your traverses get a lot worse when you're not playing, like, 3 mana card draw spells like Seasoned Pyromancer and Grist to kind of take advantage of, like, you know, Traverse being a good top deck. So, like, the idea here is, like, while Traverse does, like, help you enable Boseiju Wrenn and Six and Forgotten Cave Wrenn and Six, it's also going to be, like, a fantastic top deck. So, like, you have, in the late game of top deck, 4 Traverse, 4 Seasoned Pyromancers, and a Grist. There's, like, 9 premium top decks, which is likely going to give you, like, a pretty good edge in these kind of mirrors. And obviously, like, adding Lurrus loses that game plan. But very few decks are also, like, made a lot worse by adding Lurrus as companion. I think that is a reasonable way to build a deck. But this is my thoughts for building the deck this way. I think did I update the Stream Decker actually to include the Fury? I think I forgot to. Yeah, I expect that I'll start to traverse into Pioneer, like, after I'm done, like, really diving deep into Neon Dynasty Modern, but I'm having a really good time. Neon Dynasty has been, it's my favorite kind of set to my favorite kind of standard set, where there's just, like, no shortage of, like, playable reasonable cards, right, that are, like, very hard to find the best home for. It's just like no card feels, besides, like, Lion Sash, feels, like, super obvious. Yeah, Neon Dynasty is, like, it's been my favorite set for like, since Horizons 2. I am really enjoying it. Murktide again. Have I tried PS5 Cyberpunk? Not yet. So yeah, well, yes and no. So I did a playthrough on Cyberpunk on 1.1 or 1.0 and then 1.3. And I got Esther a lot of stuff. This is not the only thing I got her for Valentine's birthday anniversary, but one of the things I got her for these 3 occasions, which all happened in a 1-week span, was I got her Cyberpunk on PS5. We've started it. Esther spent like an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe, on the character creator, and is struggling with the combat, shall we say. Struggling a little bit with the combat. You know, didn't grow up playing video games or anything like that. Is, you know, yeah, struggling with the combat. Okay, let me take the Ragavan, I think. I could take the Bolt. Yeah, I'll take the Bolt, actually. Then the Ragavan I could just block with the Channeler if they want to dash and spend all that mana. Yeah, so she's having a hard time with the combat. She's just not a gamer. And so she's getting a little discouraged, I think. But yeah, so I think that I will, however, so if I plus, I lose Delirium, and the dash Ragavan's better, so I think I'm actually gonna just not return a land. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to let her experience the PS5 version first, and then I might also wait on it until there's, like, a little more content, because there's still supposed to be more releases. I thought she was really improving, though, because we played Portal, and then we played It Takes Two. We didn't finish either. Esther loves to start video games. She doesn't really like to finish them. She loves to start them though. And we started It Takes Two. Maybe I want a Fury on the draw and then the extra Inquisition on the play. We started It Takes Two, and she was actually like doing really well at It Takes Two, and she was doing reasonably well at Portal. But she just hasn't played any games in a while, and so she's like, she almost died in the tutorial on Cyberpunk. I hadn't played the tutorial on Cyberpunk before, but you have 110 health, and one bullet deals 1 damage to you. And there are 3 enemies to kill. So yeah, she was having a hard time. Let's keep this in. I have a recruiter, remember back Feudalist to find Disciple and Ravager. It's pretty slow. But it's interesting. Like, it's something to consider for sure. Is it okay to ask a question a few times and like hit those missed, or is that bad manners? Well, I don't know. I think it is like somewhat bad manners to spam the same question. Yeah. I answer as many questions as I can. I do miss like a decent amount of them that I would have answered otherwise, but sometimes like I do just ignore a question that I don't want to answer. And then like when that happens and you keep spamming it, then I don't answer it. But for you, like I don't remember seeing your question, so I wasn't ignoring yours specific, but I do think it is bad manners to spam it. But the question was, would a Jund Triumph be good in various Jund decks? ETB tap too slow. It depends. I think in a more mid-rangey version like this, or like more traditional boomer quote unquote Jund, I think would like a Triumph. But I think that like maybe like the Jund Saga list wouldn't. I do think that like internet etiquette is very much how should I put it? It feels very much like in a state of flux. Like what is good etiquette, what is bad etiquette is kind of always changing, I feel. So I think it is good to like ask those kind of questions and try to understand. Okay, we're kind of toast here, huh? So we can go Channeler, Wrenn and Six ping Channeler. Engineer, Cunt Anvil, Mayhem Devil, Food Synergy, what do you think? Well, I spent some time yesterday playing a red-black deck very much like that. I tested Mayhem Devil in my drafts I played off-stream. I thought that I was a bigger fan of Disciple of the Vault than Anvil, just because it was 1 mana. It was way easier to assemble like Ravager plus Anvil. I was on Ravager instead of Engineer. And I was also playing the Food Shell. But the deck felt like somewhat promising, but it also definitely... Oh, they're Treemer. Huh. It also like definitely very much felt like it was missing something. Okay, what are we doing here? So I have 3 card types in the graveyard. I can get Delirium with a Thoughtseize. Delirium with a Thought. So let's go to our second main phase. Second main phase, Thoughtseize them, Traverse for another Channeler. Is that good? I kind of need to Traverse for a Grist, but I feel like it's too slow here. I could just cast Seasoned Pyromancer, I guess. Cast Seasoned Pyromancer, discard Thoughtseize, Forgotten Cave, and then try to Traverse for Grist next turn to kill the Murktide. Let's do that, I think. Okay, well, these are better than traversing for the Grist, I guess. This is a cool turn, hard turn. I don't understand how Temur Murktide list popping up. Tarmogoyf is really cool, and people like to play Tarmogoyf in these tempo decks, and like that is really like that is the reason to play it, is that it's cool and fun, and people want to. And I don't really think it's any deeper than that. It's just like, so like, again, your mana's a lot worse splashing green. It's doable, but it is like a significant amount worse. And it's not like Tarmogoyf and Murktide have tension. Tarmogoyf is also like way better in black decks than blue decks, where you're playing discard spells, not counter spells. It's always been the case. And no, they have Spell Pierce. Fuck, we're dead if they have it. Feels bad to have to both terminate, so I just can't deploy it. Okay. Can't heat the 7/7. Game 3. And it's also like, it's not like the Murktide deck is super hungry for a giant 2-mana creature because they have Murktide, you know what I mean? They're back to Turbo Twin. Yeah. It's like the Teamer Murktide deck is very much, in my opinion, a nostalgia deck that is playable, is cool, is fun, and is also worse than like regular Blue-Red Murktide. Is my my current take, at least. Doesn't give you anything on the sideboard. It gives you like Ancient Grudge. I think the reason it splashes up the threat density of the deck, I guess. I've never really felt like you need an upped threat density. But obviously, if I'm wrong, then it's fine. Got an updated version of Neon. So wait, not only do I have an updated list, but it's in the Stream Decker, and we're playing it next league. So I've got a Heat on top. They've got a Bauble on top. You want to do these Baubles first to get more info on your what to take with Thoughtseize. Guess I'm taking the Goyf. Goyf is actually good because I took with Thoughtseize, looks like. Do you like Veil of Summer, these Jund mid-range decks? Not right now, I think. Where like the meta is very much linear, where like a lot of people are like brewing with artifact lists, like there's like a decent amount of like Hammer Time, there's a decent amount of Titan, there's a decent amount of combo decks, and like usually I will only like Veil of Summer if like the fair decks are super duper popular, but even then, like you also have to feel like Veil of Summer is the best sideboard card for these fair matchups, which it isn't always the best sideboard card for the fair matchups. But it's you know, I also think that it is very much the tendency of Jund players, Omnath players, Murktide players, Control players to want to be the best in the fair matchups. You know, they want to be favored in these kinds of matchups. And I think there's like a few different factors that contribute to that. I think obviously the most clear one is that these fair matchups are really fun, and these are like the ones you oftentimes play with your friends, and you know you want to be favored in these kind of. I guess I'd have to take the Heat, Traverse for a Mountain. Yeah, but these fair matchups are really fun. Is I think really kind of what it boils down to. People want to win the fair matchups, but I also think that it's very easy to have that attitude and to like lose percentage points against the rest of the field. And if you're and it's like very easy to over sideboard and overcompensate your deck construction to beat these fair matchups. Yeah, don't have Delirium, so no Heat on the Channeler for us. Well, that was a really stellar top deck for them, huh? So I guess I'm going to terminate the Channeler on their upkeep. Their hand is currently Lightning Bolt, Murktide Regent, Archmage's Charm, and they kept a card. Well, they put a card in the graveyard. And so this is going to give me Delirium. And if they play the Murktide here, the Murktide is just going to be a 6/6. I think Fragmentize is an underplayed sideboard card. It is a somewhat playable modern card, and it sees 0 modern play, so I guess in that sense it's underplayed, but I think that a lot of the decks that could play it have better options, which is why it doesn't see any play. Okay, I think we found the best line. Their hand is Charm, Bolt, Mystery card, and then whatever they find off Consider. Interesting card. Okay, Spell Pierce, great card to know about. Should be not too difficult to play around at this game. Will my opponent ever pop this Relic of Progenitus is the question. Yeah, you cannot Spell Pierce a Grist. You know, one thing that we have that I've learned from playing a lot of the Murktide deck, it's also like really awkward like pop Relic in your Oh, they're trying to spell Pierce the Grist. One thing I've learned about playing a lot of the Murktide deck is that in these matchups against like the red black X decks, you're always looking to top deck a Murktide Regent, or in this case, you know, a Murktide or they don't even have green. They don't even have green mana. Yeah, but you're always looking to top deck a Murktide Regent, and so like boarding into relics is. Boarding into relics is like a bit awkward because like you often get to spots where you're top decking and you want to cash in for that card, but now my opponent can't top deck Murktide Regent and cast it, which is just a bit awkward, right? So this is why I usually don't bring in relic in these matchups on the Murktide side. I obviously, like, it's not unreasonable. I know a lot of people prefer to, but that is my argument against it at least. Yeah, relic a bit awkward to, of course, play with the Goyfs too in these kind of spots. It just kind of exacerbates that issue. Well, oh, I should plus this Grist first. I should plus the Grist first, and then this is gonna make them pop the relic because now they can't tap it to exile my Forgotten Cave. All right, they can just spell Pierce, which is also fine. It's not like the Wrenn and Six is doing much into the relic. Putting out 4-color creativity compared to Grixis. I think that I agree that like I like playing 4 Archons in creativity. I agree that that is the way. That being said, I think that you should play the 4-color version and play Archons so you can play Wrenn and Six into Fairy, which are like 2 of the best cards of the archetype, and the mana does work to support them. And your mana in Grixis is, you know, it's also bad. You know what I mean? Like creativity just doesn't have good mana. It's not like I definitely don't think that like Grixis' mana is obviously better than the 4-color variant, but it's still not very good. So if your mana is going to be not that good, let's at least play the powerful cards. Why Relic over Soul Guide then? Well, Relic is a more powerful card. Like, I tend to prefer Relic in Murktide since it's a more powerful card. You have, like, you know, Soul Guide is also not good against these red-black decks, right? Like, I wouldn't board in Soul Guide from Murktide against me, ever. And so like, if that's the case, like, Relic is going to be more impactful in the matchups that it matters in. Like, Living In, Dredge, are obviously, like, the 2 biggest ones. Okay, one shy type of Delirium. We're pretty good at just drawing our Grist, by the way. Yeah. I think I've seen those with the 4 Archons. You mean 3? Maybe I mean 3, but I don't think the 4 would be too bad. Can't create it to just be Jeskai. You can be, but like the 4-color versions are better. Like Wrenn and Six is like the best card in the deck. And like the mana works. Okay, I got Delirium now. I know they have Charm. What if they're gonna steal an insect? Yeah, they can't bring themselves to do it. Yeah, you could play 3. I haven't played much of the creativity deck, so you could play 3. It's not like that big a deal either way. Okay, 2-0. Why 1 Fury and why not Lurrus on main? Okay, I mean, Fury is the deck as a traverse target. As you can probably see, like, we've got a decent amount of 1-drops as traverse targets. You could play Lurrus to the main deck. It wouldn't be that bad, but it also wouldn't be that good. Do we keep this 1-lander? It's pretty close. I'm gonna try it on the draw. Like, Lurrus is very much a whatever card without the companion mechanic, right? It's fine. Like, it's not gonna be bad. It'll get the job done. But like, let's not pretend like Lurrus is like this secretly amazing card that's good in the main deck and as a companion. It's good because of that companion line of text. Oh boy. Okay, I'm going to play a Channeler, try to get a Surveil next turn. How's the deck felt like? I would consider Reclaimer as a potential 2-of. Without Saga, Reclaimer is not an option, in my opinion. Yeah, GG Hoppa. Yeah, I know you can Traverse for Lurrus, but like, Lurrus just is not that good without the companion mechanic. It's like, people, it's kind of funny to me how like burn players, burn players are like, let's just not play Lurrus. You don't need it actually. And then Jund players are like, let's actually main deck Lurrus. I feel like it's just not that complicated. I'm gonna graveyard this so I can get a little value out of my second Surveil, I suppose. Yeah, easy, rip the land. Oh boy. Okay, we're gonna take Archon of Cruelty. Just kidding. Great joke, Spike. I think it's worth for Grist to try to put one island in the sideboard against Blood Moon. I mean, no. Not really. Like, you have discard spells and counter spells for Blood Moon. Like, I would rather sideboard a counter spell, which you can bring it in against the Blood Moon decks, and you can also like bring it in any other matchup. Yeah, down to 10. Could maybe play like one Death Shadow in the deck as a traverse target. I feel like that might actually come up a decent amount of the time. I'm gonna ping plus heat here. Another heat to kill a token's probably not too bad. Oh, the graveyarding for Delirium's kind of interesting. Because now I can go heat, target the Asmo, and if I get Delirium, then... Oh, I should have gone to second main phase, but... If I get Delirium, then I get to not ping, and I get to plus. A Singleton Tracker too weak? I don't know. Yeah, probably. You could play it. I'm totally okay if they sack 2 food tokens here, by the way. Yeah, this means their Saga tokens are going to be much smaller. Yeah, I think it would probably be too weak. Like, Tracker's not great, to be honest, and I would rather just be in on the Seasoned Pyromancer because my card advantage. Anonymous with $5.68. First time catching the stream from YouTube. Love to opinion, general opinion on Heartless Summon deck with Manufacturer and new Dragon Spark Reactor. I do like the idea of Heartless Summoning Manufacturer. I think that there are probably better payoffs than Academy or than Dragon Spark Reactor. I'm like honestly pretty low on that card, but I like the idea of playing Heartless Summoning Academy Manufacturer for sure. Oh boy. So I can go Fury, Pitch Spyro, Ping Construct, Traverse for Goyf, cast Goyf off of a forest. I can also Traverse for Boseiju. Traverse for Boseiju, Boseiju this, Pitch Fury, Ping. That's probably a bit better, right? Oh, I don't actually have to ping because I can just... yeah, sorry, I don't have to ping. I can do this first. Dead True Persist ever. Shocks and Godless Shrine so that they can... Cookbook back Asmo. Okay, I'm just gonna plus and keep the land in hand for a Rimblum pass. Where are you playing Voidmere in the sideboard? Which deck increase in metagame to include card again? I feel like there's like a decent amount of Glimpse and Living In still. I've been playing against a decent amount of Cascade decks. Just you know, obviously for the Cascade decks, right? It's like, sorry, Spike on Dark Souls or Quilleg's sister. Yeah, what's the deal with the Quilleg's sister, huh? Oh, they got Street Raised. Interesting. What's she doing there outside the Bed of Chaos's arena? That's what I'd like to know. John the Contrary, I think the 6 months. Jund, indeed. I wonder if they just have like 2 more Godless Shrines in their deck, and we could potentially get them out of lands in the deck, but it's also like it's a bit risky because if I start blowing up their Godless Shrines, oh, that was that was a huge mistake to heat now, huh? But if I start blowing up their Godless Shrines, then I thin their deck to persist. Huh. Okay, so if I play, I lose if I just cast Ragavan. So I need to hit something from their deck. And if they block, I get to ping. Oh, I guess I could have cast Ragavan and then... No, they've got 2 cookbooks in their hand. They could go... But I could have Boseiju a food token. Yeah, huge punt to cast the heat there. Alright, it's down a game against White-Black Saga Reanimator. I'm going to bring in these Lanterns, the Force of Vigors, the Ashioks. Don't think about the Magus. I might probably play the Tin Street Hooligan too. Probably don't need Terminate. I think Heat's probably enough. We'll see though. Let's cut the Fury. The discard spells are probably pretty important. Maybe trim a Wrenn and Six, trim a Seasoned Pyromancer, maybe 2 Seasoned Pyromancers with the Ashioks. I think I want to keep the Grist. I wonder if I could probably trim a couple Tarmogoyfs, just like be a bit more controlling. The 4th Heat is maybe trimmable. Trim the 2nd Goyf. I think I want to keep the 1-mana spells. Be a bit lower to the grounds. Yeah, I should have heated on instep because I didn't play around a 2nd Asmo. Okay, let's keep good ham. And then I could have ultimated the Wrenn and Six and kept playing. What happens if someone breaks my trophy record this season? I will congratulate them. Trimming Goyfs with Ashiok seems incorrect. What would you trim instead? I'm bringing in, like 9 cards. I feel like, my 1-mana threats are better. What would you trim instead? See, attack. I mean, I'm not just trying to attack you, but if you're gonna say my sideboard is incorrect, like this is, I want to hear what you would do instead, right? This is not an attack. I'm gonna take the Liliana. I've got the Lantern to really easily deal with the Persist Grave here. Oh, it seems correct. Oh, trimming Goyf with Ashiok seems correct. Okay, now I'll attack you. Okay. Sorry, my brain just auto-completes comments to be criticism. It's funny though. How dare you agree with me? Cast the Grave. Do it. Goalie gifting a sub to Steve for being correct. Dude, Brutality discard cookbook? That's pretty good. Oh, they know about the Lantern. Although they could probably infer the Lantern already, right? They could probably guess if we're gonna not take the Grave there. Pretty easy guess to make. I'm gonna have a controlling mid-rangey modern deck on a mod. Do you have any recommendations? I mean, I have plenty of budget deck guides on Channel Fireball. A lot of them are, as you've described, but I don't know exactly what you're looking for, But you can, I have a lot of $200-ish decks on Modern that are controlling mid-rangey. Reclamation, a mono black mid-range list, a couple others. There's Persist, Grave. Don't think I want to Thoughtseize that hand. Just cast the Ragavan. Might double block Asmo. No, then I can attack with Ragavan. I'm trying to think like yeah. You can look at Shadow Fireball. I've got a bunch of a bunch of guides. Hi, that do we get for Trophy Record? 76. I had a couple days where I could have pushed, but I also have like other projects to work on and like Neon Dynasty Brews to work on, and I just kind of didn't push like the last day. 77 would have been a pretty good number to finish on. Team Rex still playable in Neo Modern? Absolutely. I do think you get the channel land seems like a good upgrade. Okay, love to see no attacks. Still know their hand exactly. This doesn't do too much. I'm going to take that unmarked grave, though. Time for a daily. What about Bant Reclamation? Yeah, well, maybe we could wait a little bit. I mean, Bant Reclamation with, like, the Wanderer and then the new White March seems kind of fun. It's very low on my list, my to-do list, but I've got a pretty big to-do list, admittedly. Alright, let's double block now. Fair enough. Okay. Wrenn and Six is pretty interesting. I do have Sokenzan, Crucible of Defense, to work with it. I think I should Seasoned Pyromancer this turn, though. Can you build Grixis Shadow on a budget, or is it impossible? I mean, budget is like what is budget, you know? Like, because like budget, like, you know, if your budget's like $200, like Shadow doesn't function without fetch lands, really. Like, you know. So it seems a very difficult deck to build completely on a budget, because like Death Shadow and Aluris deck without fetch lands is really hard to make good. And then it's like, then you lose your Baubles, you lose your Kroxa, you lose your Ragavans. Seems like a bit too much to me. Okay. Interesting draw. You just get a Goyf. Way to turn on the Wrenn and Six. Return. Isn't Bauble only expensive online? I don't know. Is it? I think it's also like somewhat expensive in paper, but I'm not 100% sure. I know I bought mine for like. I bought mine pretty cheap, but Baubles always do this thing where they just like shoot up and down and shoot up and down. Nobody can keep track. Yeah, aren't fetch lands like kind of like relatively inexpensive for like, you know, how expensive they have been in the past. Bubble's like 10. Yeah, I mean, that's like $40 towards your budget. Like, you know, obviously you get to play some of these cards, but it seems like a very hard deck to build on a budget. I have put together a, like, if you're looking to play Grixis Shadow on a budget, you're not going to be able to. But if you're looking for a, like, a Aluris Bauble deck that, you know, this list is on Channel Fireball. I think it was like $160 maybe. But you get to play Turok. You probably went 4 Turoks. I don't know why I'm only playing 3. But yeah, you get to play Turok. You get to hide with the Eye Tyrant, Castle Locthwain. You get to add the channel land over one of these swamps. You get to be lean, low to the ground. What's actually cool is Bloodchief's Thirst is better than Fatal Push in this deck because it has no fetch lands. Okay, I don't know what this attack means. I'm gonna block. I guess it means they're gonna Priest of Felrights their Asmo, which is like just fine with me. Yeah, I don't care. If their 2 mystery cards are Cookbook Daredevil, then we got pretty bad. It goes to stream. It's pretty good. I am yelling at a lot of people, but that is normal, I think. Yelling at people who are agreeing with me, disagreeing with me. Just if you want to get yelled at, sign up on the Discord for your scheduled yelling. I'm just kidding. I one person who I said like they said they agree on trimming on Tarmogoyf when you bring in Ashiok. I thought they said disagree. I was like, well, what'd you do instead? And then I said some colorful comments about their uncle. Got really personal. Oh, they did have Daredevil. Wow. They didn't have the other cookbook. Sorry, when I was looking for the USB cord. I left the closet light on. It was bothering me. Yelling should be a channel points redeem. Yeah, it's hard for me to just like muster that energy at whim, though. You know, I need to take an acting class. I need to have like donation goal for an acting class, so I can harness whatever emotion you want me to feel on a whim. If you want me to yell at you, I can get that energy going. Just like that. Okay, that was a really good draw for them. Notably, they can't kill my Tarmogoyf, though. So, what are they going to do instead? Oh, I could have actually gone Wrenn, get a forest, play the Grist last turn. Yeah, don't they just have to chump block here? Their hand is persist. Their hand is persist. Daredevil mystery card, right? Yeah, this forest is really nice. This is maybe my favorite of the new basics. Either that or the mountain. I like the mountain I've been playing too. We have lethal next turn. So like if we channel this and like swing in with everything, I feel like it only like I think that's like how we lose to the fatal push, right? Maybe I could have attacked with just one of them. Yeah, we got definitely lethal next turn. Is in place for Ghost Quarter, tech opponent's land, destroy your channel lands if you play them. Well, I mean, we've got Boseiju like really fills the role of Ghost Quarter like a lot better than Ghost Quarter does. Is kind of the working theory where, I ever since Wrenn and Six has been printed, I've been trying to return Ghost Quarter with Wrenn and Six, and like missing your land drop every turn to Ghost Quarter your opponent is like very slow and not very good. But Boseiju, like being a card in your hand instead of a land you play is pretty different. Obviously has more flexibility too. Thank you, Hitachi. Yeah, it took me a long time to get this list together. Like I was really struggling with like fitting the Traverse package into like the existing Jund Saga. I think it makes a lot more sense in this shell, but obviously there's a lot of ways to build it. This is just like finally the draft that looks good enough to play. And still needs some work too, to be honest. So they can gain 6 life here. How's Grist feel? I think you play it more than one. I keep drawing it constantly. It feels like I'm playing more than one. I like Grist a lot. I think Grist is good. It's it's your Traverse target, and so I think in this Traverse build you don't want more than one. But I have liked it. This is actually Jund tokens. I know it says Jund Traverse. This is actually a Jund tokens deck. Sazy, 3 months, appreciate you. Yeah, Chatterfig would be giving all the tokens. I played the Porcelian deck. Yeah, I played a couple different versions. I think the food version I played was the better of the two, but there may be other ways to build it too. Alright. Go to game 3. Long game. Is this Tin Street Hooligan actually good? I think I'll play the Sokengans instead. Yeah, it is true. We don't ever get the 3 tokens from Grist. It was crazy. There was one game kind of recently where we Got 3 tokens off of Grist and it's twice in the same match and won because of it. It was crazy. I can mulligan this hand. I like this one. We putting back second Channeler, third land, or the Ashiok. I think we put back the third land. So we've got 2 Channelers. It's like somewhat likely we can surveil into the third one if we need it. Oh, now we can get a... For all of those who want the John to Triome, here it is. Will I go back work on my Rogue Kaido list? I'm going to be working on Kaido pretty hard, yeah. I don't know how much time I have today to work off stream. I have some. Me and Esther are meeting with our realtor tonight, or we're supposed to. She gave us an excuse yesterday. We're supposed to meet yesterday, but she gave us an excuse that said her daughter locked her out of her house, which is weird. I think I believed her though. I think I believed her. Yeah, I saw that Meebo got a house. I'm seething and burning with jealousy. My rage is a hot fire that knows no equal. Take the priest. You can Ashiok it, I guess. Anybody else have rage in the chat? Yeah, how can this retail sale houses if she can't enter houses exactly? There's be a good sideboard card over Ashiok? Yeah, maybe. These are like largely for Titan. You could probably have a endurance. I'm just like tired of losing the Titan, but I haven't played against Titan today either. Yeah. If she blows us up again, we're gonna find a new realtor. But like also like we talked on the phone. Like she came recommended from a friend that we trust very well, right? Like she's not just some random person on Zillow or anything. She's someone who comes like pretty highly recommended from a friend. Okay, so I can Ashiok to turn off the Saga fetch and then exile the priest, or I can try to play Goyf. Just Goyf though. Let's go for the Ashiok since this is gonna give us Delirium after they kill it. And exiles the priest, stops this too. Yeah, but she comes highly recommended, and we talked on the phone with her for like 2 hours, and she like was actually like really good at explaining like everything that we're gonna need to do and everything that she's gonna, like all like very high detail about all the costs, and she was better at explaining it than anybody we've met. We also she seemed very nice too, so. We're gonna hopefully meet her tonight. If she blows us off, we'll find somebody else. I actually think that maybe Twitch chat could be my realtor. We could perhaps just like, people could just yell in the chat suggestions, and then I'll just kind of like pick one at random to go with. Is Dragon Guard Elite a better fit than Goyf and Murktide? I don't know what that card does. I don't think if that's a green card, I just don't think you should splash green. Live in a box under a bridge. Yeah, what's the internet like there? Oh, they ignored Ashiok. Hard to blame them, to be honest. Okay, so... Wait, I don't have Delirium? Okay, I'm gonna try to get Delirium. There we go. Oh wait, I'm dead to the constructs, aren't I? I have to get a chump blocker. I guess she should be channeler. So I go shock down to 5, block. But then they go discard, make this a 5/5, activate this, make this a 5/5. So that doesn't work. Boseiju doesn't get us out of this, does it? Boseiju, kill a token, fight. Yeah, I'm dead to the Asmo. Check down to 4. I don't know. I can tap this for black off the Urborg. Yeah, I think we're dead. Tough stuff. Tin Street Hooligan mocking me. This would have been actually our out, but I cited it out. Okay. No, Pyromancer. Doesn't Pyromancer die to 2 food tokens? I shock down to 5, make 2 food tokens, kill 1, chump block 1, yeah. I think I'm just gonna get mounted on turn 1. There's a chance to put it with Mislethal. Not really. I'm gonna be hellbent. like when you have no cards in your hands, and like if your opponent's missing lethal there on board, like obviously it'll happen some percentage of the time, but it's also like not very good testing, you know. We're just testing here, playing some leagues. There's like really like no stakes, you know. So it's like, sure, your opponent can miss lethal, but it's not like we're playing for anything big. If we were trophy racing, maybe we'd make our opponent kill us, but I'm okay to save my time and save your time by conceding there when we're dead. Alright, a ping channeler, get in there. I like that Brez last couple leagues to set off to like a game 1 kills really fast. Yeah, I haven't seen the card in action, but this is my evaluation. It seems really high variance where like it's good if you have Thalia's Lieutenant and a lot of humans in play, but like I kind of feel like you're winning most games where you have Thalia's Lieutenant and a lot of humans, right? Anyways, like those sound like games you usually win as humans. Terry, 18 months, appreciate you. No way. Well, I guess this is just gonna be a slaughter. My opponent has no second land, and we are they didn't have a removal spell for Ragavan last turn, or maybe they wanted to channel or Bauble to try to find land number 2. Okay, they at least have a removal spell for Ragavan. Okay, so let's go Bauble myself. I can maybe see something I like and cycle Forgotten Cave into it. Probably shuffle that one away. Okay, so let's go cast Channeler. I think I'm going to cast a Traverse. I don't have Delirium yet. I could get Delirium off the Surveil, and I do get Delirium after Traverse resolves. So yeah, this is going to be Delirium. And I think I'm just going to grab a second Channeler. Put more pressure on my opponent who's missing lands. Yeah, I do think that card. I can't remember what it is. It's obviously just like being tested in humans. I don't know that it's good. I don't think it's that good. But it could be better than I think. Thinking Thieves Good Enforcers. Do you think it would fit in my mono blacklist? Well, you probably should have taken a look at the mono blacklist because there's 4 of them in here. Yeah. Yeah, probably should have taken a look or closer look. Read the article. In case there's a Forgotten Cave or something. Well, you'll play Peatland because it's an actual dual land, but listen, costing a land drop to cycle. You know, you've misevaluated when you say that Forgotten Cave costs you a land drop to cycle. That is not how it works. Forgotten Cave allows you to continue to hit your land drops while you're cycling with Wrenn and Six. When you're cycling your sack lands, you are constantly missing that land drop, and you're spending effectively 2 mana to cycle instead of 1 mana to cycle. The cycle lands from hand are much better to cycle with Wrenn and Six than Peatland or, you know, any of the other Canopy lands. Was it Decker Show? This is a budget list I posted to the channel Fireball a few months ago. This is one that I think is a very good budget deck. It's like a Lurrus Bauble deck. They can still play a lot of powerful cards like Turok, Voidwalker. You should probably play 4 Turok now that I think about it some more. Unearth, Inquisition, Thoughtseize. You get a lot of really good utility lands and a painless mana base. To play Gatekeeper of Malakir, which is a pretty sick card. Sign in Blood. Yeah. I can keep this. But again, it's just a budget deck. It's not one I'm probably going to play on stream at all. But I think it's a pretty good one. Play 3 Traverse in the Shadow. Well, I don't love adding a Traverse tutor target and cutting a Traverse necessarily. I do think that Traverse is a... I do think Traverse is a tutor target you could play, though. I like casting Ragavan here. Oh, they're playing red-black. I also feel like it's just like I do think one shadow would be fine here in the deck, but I think you would not cut a Traverse for it. I'd love Budget Day. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. You know what I mean? I know that some people would like Budget Day. I would not enjoy Budget Day. It's just not what I'm interested in. And there's also like tons of talented people who do that kind of content. Yeah, it was pretty similar to an M. Hayashi list that was older. She had to go to 18 months. Appreciate you. I can keep a heat. Any variation that mono black that's not budget? Yeah, it's red black. It's this deck. You know what I mean? Like I think if you want to build that deck as a non-budget deck, you should not play mono black. I don't think that. Like obviously, like I do also love this mana base. Like you get to play like the channel land now, but like the reality is also like you should be playing shock fetch lands and fatal push too if you are gonna be mono black. But the mana base still gets to look pretty cool. But like you're like it's just like splashing a color doesn't cost you enough to like not want the increased card quality. Unfortunately, right? Alright, any Neo cards includes for rec deck? The blue channel land's pretty good there. Boseiju's also like possible, but I don't like really expect it to be particularly good since like you're a counterspell Archmage's Charm deck. No, you're good, Francis. I had 76 trophies at the end of the last race. Opponent's hand is just a Lurrus. They know I've got this Fury, so they're probably going to be a little hesitant to go for the Lurrus here. They get to fear the Ragavan, though. Could Modern Vehicles see any play? I'm really curious for the 3-mana Mimic Vehicle. Well, I've been playing Modern Vehicles, but I've been playing... vehicles with, like... I think Consulate Dreadnought is great. I think the card's really, really strong. And then I've also been playing the Parhelion combo, too. I think the 3-mana... Like, the 3-mana, like, clone vehicle is obviously, like, a super cool card. But it's also, like... not very good in Modern. Like a 3-mana card in Modern, I think it's a little too underpowered. All right, red card would definitely get me back in the game. Still behind though. Facing down a Den of the Bugbear. Is that Marvelous posted anywhere? Yes, it's actually posted to a website. Channel Fireball, and the budget articles are actually posted for free. So you don't even need a Channel Fireball Pro subscription to get it. You'll have to do some digging. Because it is a few months old. But I have several budget decks. They're all free on Channel Fireball as good entry points to Modern that were $200 or lower at the time of writing the article. Yeah, $200 or lower at the time of writing the article as like a way to get you in the door, playing games at like F&M or just with your friends is the intent. And the idea is that all of them are like, you're like if you look at this Lurrus deck, the money you're spending are all like for really good cards. You get Lurrus, you get Thoughtseize, Inquisition, Bauble, and like I don't think Voidwalkers were very much at the time of writing, but like the money you're spending is like in my opinion very well spent because like a lot of the budget decks are like. You're buying like cards that like don't translate well into other lists, and I kind of very intentionally built these lists so that you could main phase this to deny more surveils. I built the list so like you could like translate like this list to like the red black deck or Jund Saga or Grisha Shadow, and there's like a reclamation list with a very similar idea. Couldn't sack Bauble in response for DRC. No, they only had 2 types in the yard. I'm gonna concede to the Kroxa. If I fetch in Seasoned Pyromancer, I die to the Kroxa trigger. So I didn't realize they were red-black. I might play a Lantern or 2. Fury is okay. I think I cut the Terminate. It's like a Terminate. Why is Quetzal Dreadnought good? It's a 1-mana 7/11 that gets crewed like a lot easier than you think with Urza Saga tokens. It's also good with Mech Hanger and the new Tezzeret, where the new Tezzeret makes it a permanent 7/11 vehicle, and then Mech Hanger crews it and like raises the floor so that even if you're low on resources, you can just spend 4 mana to attack for 7. And it's also like very important that it's a 1-mana artifact too in your affinity deck, and the reality is if you're not in white, your quality of 1-mana artifacts is not that high. While white has Esper Sentinel Portable Hole, which is really good. Like there are pretty significant mana restrictions when it comes to building these decks. Sorry, hold on. What do I put in back? I think the Thoughtseize. Yeah, there are pretty significant mana restrictions when it comes to like building these affinity decks, where you're wanting to play Urza Saga and basically all of them. You're wanting to play Darksteel Citadel, ideally, potentially like the Mech Hanger being a colorless utility land, and so like splashing white in a lot of these lists, I feel like is hard to do, and if you can avoid it by playing other really high quality 1-mana cards like Dreadnought, like you're really incentivized to do it. So I think I'll heat after the Bauble draw. I could graveyard this for Delirium and cast the Traverse here, or I could just cast a Channeler. I think I'm going to cast the Channeler. It's kind of close, though. Rashaka Death Dealer. That's a name I haven't heard in quite some time. Should you have 1 Kroxa Traverse for Resilient Threat? Yeah, I think red, black is too risky with 2 green sources in your 20-land deck. It would be fine, though. Like, it wouldn't be, like, you know, horrendous. Oh my gosh, my line was so bad against Voidwalker. Yikes. Yeah, Death Dealer was a pretty cool card in Standard. I had a friend who owned like 40 copies of Death Dealer specking on it, and then that same friend later had like also bought out Underworld Cerberus, like just bought as many as he could. Yikes. Okay, we're getting demolished. Kuzo, wanted to get your opinion on a couple changes Bob with yesterday. I could take a look. If you want to post a link in chat, I'll be happy to take a look. Okay, not a bad draw. Traverse and try to hit Delirium. Yeah, I think that we were probably unlikely to hit Delirium there. Yeah, no, the specs didn't pan out. Okay. So I see that you've cut an Ornithopter. I really don't like that inclusion. You probably heard me talk about Sai yesterday. I think Sai is completely unplayable when you compare it to like when you have options like Imri, Thought Monitor, Thoughtcast, Tezzeret. Tai is like a tier worse than all of those cards. It's a 3-mana creature. It's very vulnerable to removal. And needs you to have like more spells coming for it to be good. I really dislike the card. I was also super impressed by Hard Evidence. Hard Evidence being able to like tap to both chip and drum was great. And it also worked really well with Tezzeret. I have seen that you've cut the Tezzerets. I actually like Tezzeret. So we were playing 4 Thoughtcast in this version. Okay, hold on. We were playing 4 Thoughtcast in this version before. We were playing 4 Thoughtcast with without Tezzeret. In my one league that we played, I ended up feeling like the Tezzerets were better than the Thoughtcast, especially with the Constant Dreadnought, which I've also seen that you've cut. If you think Dreadnought's bad, that's fine. I really like Dreadnought. Like this is also something that I think is you've fallen into a trap that I think is very easy to fall into as well, where you've gone it. So like I have 12 card advantage payoffs, right? I have Tezzeret, I have Urza, I have Thought Monitor. You could consider Nettlecyst, but I view it more as like it's a bit lower on the curve. But you can count Nettlecyst or not. But I feel like that's about how many card advantage spells you want, like 12 plus Nettlecyst plus Saga, right? So you have like maybe 20 big nice payoffs. That's like a really good number in my opinion. You've gone ahead and cut 4 cheap artifacts, maybe actually more than that. Yeah, you cut the 2 hard evidence, 4 dreadnought, and an ornithopter in order to make room for more grindy card advantage spells. And I really think that this is an easy mistake to make when you're deck building, but a pretty costly mistake to make when you're deck building as well. You're in really bad shape here. Where like now all of a sudden you have 4 Emery, 4 Urza, 4 Thought Monitor, 4 Thoughtcast, and then you have 16 of these card draw spells, plus the Nettlecyst, plus the Saga, and like your ratio of like payoffs to enablers is not a good ratio in my opinion. You also have 2 more size in the sideboard. I also think it's like a pretty easy trap to fall into, where you're like, I have this card in my sideboard for the grindy matchups, but I think Sai is like just so much worse than these other cards, and I also think that Sai is. I have to go red. Okay. I think Sai is like a degree worse than these other cards. We might actually win this game, and they're better sideboard options. I like Ashiok more than Spreading Seas. Spreading Seas is fine though. I also like really dislike the rebukes. I'm pretty happy to have cut them. So I'm looking here to put a card on top of my library that I can plus Grist into to get Delirium. And then cycle Traverse. Or, cast Traverse for value. Which is what we found. So now I've got Delirium. I get to trade 2 Channelers in Chump Block and be dead. Chump Block and not be dead to 1 removal spell, dead to 2. So this is really a question of I guess I should graveyard because I could potentially mill like a Seasoned Pyromancer for some value, because it doesn't matter what we keep on top because we're shuffling with the Traverse, but the chance to mill something for value is at least somewhat nice. Guess I keep that in the deck though, because now we're shuffling, and then I can get Seasoned Pyromancer, Tarmogoyf. I think it's just the Pyromancer. 4 Nettlecyst, that's crazy. Nettlecyst is an incredible card. Okay, we're not dead to this Unholy Heat. We're dead to 1 more removal spell, though, and they're really likely to find it. Does the deck have 17 lands, 4 of which are Saga? Yes, it has 17 lands, 4 Sagas, but it also has 4 Springleaf Drum, 4 Moonsnare prototypes, so you have 25 mana sources, which is plenty. Is Ashiok good in the metagame? Yeah, well, we haven't played against Titan today, but earlier this week we played against Titan for like 30% of our matches. It was crazy. Okay, let's see if we can finish with the John DeFivo, the 3-2, huh? Yeah, if I could have played harder on Voidwalker, maybe would have gotten there. A lot of Murktide today. Pretty easy Spell Pierce take, I guess. Again, 1 Shadow seems like good. I agree. I think 1 Death Shadow would be fine. Yeah, I agree. I don't know exactly what you cut from it. Maybe the 4th Seasoned Pyromancer. Maybe the 4th Wrenn and Six. Maybe the 4th Traverse. I kind of like 4th Traverse though. Any major changes? The very next league we're gonna play updated Boros Stoneforge Mystic. Yes, it's not gonna be a huge change, but we're also playing Magus of the Moon over Blood Moon, with the idea that the Titan is very popular, and Titan is also playing. I'm not gonna run into the counterspell here. Titan's very popular, and Titan is also playing like 3 Boseiju main deck. So hopefully we just Hopefully we just get to farm tight next league, huh? That'd feel great. We're gonna sub in Team Erect for 1 Endurance and 1 Force of Vigor. You can play an Ancient Grudge over the Force of Vigor. I would kind of like another card for the Ragavan matchups, so maybe like a... hold on. Wrenn and Six Goyf is maybe the line here. I kind of like that. Yeah, you can play like another Veil of Summer at that other spot. The problem with Boseiju is it enables unfair decks to beat bad matchups more frequently. I don't see the flexible argument really. Its power is pushing Titan and Tron through hate efficiently, redundancy, ignoring kind of magic. I mean, yeah, I mean, yes, that is. I don't know. I think that's just more of like a semantic-y argument, right? About like what power means in in the context of Magic is how I'm interpreting that. It's like Force of Vigor is like a really powerful way to like beat on hate lock pieces. It's more powerful way to answer the pieces than Boseiju. But Boseiju is good because of the flexibility. I think we just have a, you know, terminology discrepancy. Like, Tarmogoyf is a powerful card. Dragon Ridge Chandler is a powerful card. Ragavan is a powerful card. Mishra's Bauble is a flexible card, and where it goes in a lot of shells. It's like a good enabler. It has a low opportunity cost. This is what I mean when I am referring to like power versus flexibility. Am I more high on Boseiju than a week ago? Not really, not necessarily. At the very least, like these like Wrenn and Six Boseiju decks, like I thought that would be like a nice upgrade, but it has not like really felt like a very big deal at all so far. I did to the Goyf next turn. And it's like, cards like Tarmogoyf, cards like Force of Vigor, they're not very flexible. You know what I mean? Like, they just do one thing, but they do it really powerfully. But Boseiju is a very flexible card, because it's a land and a, you know, spell-like effect, right? My point is it enables too much for too little, pushing already powerful decks through unfavorable matchups. Well, I think you're just, yeah, it's fine for you to argue that, but I think you're just having, like, a completely different conversation than me. Where, like you're talking about like Boseiju is a design mistake and it's trying to be banned. I'm just kind of trying to evaluate it as like a card as a whole. Like it obviously goes in Tron and Titan, and it, you know, goes as one of them in these decks. But it just feels like you're trying to have a completely different conversation than me, I guess. Attacks me. So I play the Fury. That's gonna be another. Fuck. So I have to go. I go ping Ragavan, attack with Tarmogoyf, Fury, deal 2 damage to Murktide, 2 damage to. Oh, I guess the 2 damage to Fury doesn't matter. Or 2 damage to Murktide Channeler doesn't kill it. I don't think there's any way to kill all 3 creatures. Fury before combat. I mean, I think it's the same outcome either way, because I can go Fury pre-combat, deal 1/1/1. I still can't kill the Murktide. Ping Monkey and destroy them. It's not quite that simple. Yeah, I just don't have the extra mana. Well, they're forced to trade. They're forced to trade anyways because they're at 6 life, right? They're like pre-combat versus post-combat does nothing. They're tapped out. They're forced to trade no matter what. Being Murktide twice plus Fury the other 2. Yeah, one short no matter what. Let's go. 1 card in their hand. It's an Archmage's Charm. If they find a red removal spell, we're in pretty bad shape. Probably not cracking this fetch to not die to 2 Channeler attacks or Channeler attack plus bolt. If you could have left Ragavan, you could have got rid of flyers. Yeah, of course, but wait, no, I can't leave Ragavan alone because they just chump block Tarmogoyf with the. Yeah, I can't. I have to kill Ragavan because they chump block Tarmogoyf with Ragavan. And then I lose the game if I don't kill Ragavan pre-combat. And they don't have it, and we win. Lucky, lucky us. So yeah, on the draw, I wanted the Fury, and then on the play, I wanted the extra Inquisition. I tried Mind Collapsing deck. I've played it with Arc-like Phoenix in the past. I know it's early. What have I enjoyed the most and felt strongest in Neo so far? I've liked, I mean, my favorite and maybe the most powerful deck I've put together is like the mono blue affinity list we were playing yesterday. This deck has felt really strong. I do think that there's a few different ways you can build it. We've only played one league with this like most recent version, but it felt really good. Let me actually update the islands. I meant to do that. But this list has felt really good. Hard Evidence has been like the secret glue that ties the deck together, I think. If we have time today, I'm going to play another league of this. We're going to play Boros Stoneblade after this league. Okay, I'm going to try this in on the draw. I'm going to put some mold to 6. Fury first with allowed Wrenn and Six to do something besides ping. That's true. Yeah, we could have plussed Wrenn and Six if we wanted to. I'm not sure that we would have wanted to. Huh. Yeah, I think my opponent's mulled to 5 here. I think that like while they're on the mull to 5, they are like the way they crawl out of this is by killing my Ragavan and hitting me and drawing some cards. So if I get to prevent that here by Furying, I think it's worth it despite going down on cards. I'm going to run another league. This is my second league with this list. Well, I don't think that I will shelf this idea forever, but I'm interested in trying some other stuff today. Okay, the John 5-0. Started off pretty hot this league. I don't know. I'm not sure that like I will definitely say like this league we played against a lot of like Ragavan decks, and it was kind of clear that we didn't have like our sideboard was just like all cards for linear matchups. This list felt fine. I do agree that like one shadow as a traverse target's probably good. I think someone suggested cutting a traverse for a shadow. I was like kind of initially like resistant to that idea, but it could be better to just play 3 traverse. Like I think you would have to play like a lot of matches to like really understand the differences between 3 and 4 in a deck like this. I will also say like the Boseiju and these cards, they were good. Like I like to play them. We only traverse for Boseiju like once out of 7 matches though, and this is maybe just like not the way to build Jund. Like you probably just end up actually playing Jund Saga with 1 Boseiju in the deck, and it's like just like a card you draw sometimes is going to be my guess as how Jund evolves. But obviously I think this list is probably worth testing some more. If you're interested in it, I do encourage you to test it and maybe let me know what you think. But for now,